most of the time, you see me using this machine right here at the campground, moving some dirt, building RV parking pads, running the Harley rake out here. But today, we're gonna do something a little bit different. No big projects, just a full-on play day to see what the VMENG 580T Pro can really do. Now I've got two big questions. First, how much can it actually lift before it starts feeling tippy? And second, how fast can it really move across the lot? Now on paper, with my counterweights, it's rated to lift 1,100 pounds and tops out at 4.94 miles per hour. But you and I both know specs don't always tell the full story. So here's the catch. Finding something heavy enough to lift isn't so easy when you're not in the landscape business. Now, I got these telephone poles here that we use. I don't have an actual weight on them. I got a rough estimate, like this big one here is probably closer to 800 pounds, but that's just an estimate. Now, I do have some buckets of concrete weights, but it's nowhere near enough for me to do a lift test on. So what do? I got an idea. So I went on a little field trip today. And I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Schulte Seed Company for allowing me to come out here to do my lift test. So we're going to be pushing the 580T Pro to its limits today. And I'm just as curious as you are to find out what the results are. I'm anxious to see what this thing can actually lift. Then after the lift test, then I'm going to jump on this thing and we're going to actually see just how fast the 580T Pro really is. So let's put it to the test and see what the 580T Pro is made of. I have 2,850 pounds of seed on this pallet, and the pallet itself weighs 50 pounds, so 2,900 pounds sitting right here. Each one of these bags weighs 50 pounds each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of these bags on this pallet to get it down to about 1,100 pounds, because that's what the 580T Pro is rated at. And then I'll start gradually adding more weight to it and see when this thing starts feeling a little tippy. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to pick up one of these things. Each one of these pallets weighs 2,000 pounds. So I'm going to see if this 580T Pro can actually pick this up. It's really sunny out today and the wind is blowing like crazy. So hopefully it doesn't sound too bad on the camera, but I definitely had to get some sunglasses because it's very bright out here. So for the fun of it, I'm going to see if this thing will actually come close to picking this thing up. I have my doubts, but that's what we're here for, right? Try new things. I seriously doubt if it's going to pick this thing up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 50-pound bags on top, and there are 3 rows. So I got 18 50-pound bags on here, so that's 900 pounds. Then I have my forks, they're 220 pounds, and so that's 1120 plus the pallet, which is right around 50 pounds, so 1,170 pounds. Well, let's see what it can do. No problem with 1,170 pounds. Okay, not a problem with 1,170 pounds. Let's add some more weight. Okay, we just added 6 more bags of weight to this 50-pound bags. Now we're looking at 1,470 pounds total. So 24 bags total. Let's see what it can do. £1,470. Picked it up, tilted it up. All right, let's keep going. Whoa! Oh! 1,470 pounds coming down, didn't handle so good. £1,450. It does get a little tippy and stuff, moving it back and forth. I don't think I want to damage any more bag seeds. We had one that already ripped open in the middle. But let me level this out a little bit better and we're just going to pile them on. All right, let's throw some on here and see what it does. That's 1,500. And you can see it is actually starting to tip over. Go turn the camera that way. You can see 1,500 pounds. She is definitely going. 1,500 pounds, it won't even raise or tilt it. It won't even tilt it up. And so I would definitely call it at that. And so, but let's stack some more on top of it and see if we can get it off of the edges of the forks and see what that does. All right, we're just gonna finish stacking these up, move these around a little bit. Let's move this over here. All right, let's see what that does. That's still 1,500 pounds. Just moved around a little bit. Okay, that's 1,500 pounds. I wouldn't go beneath it though. It's holding it, but it's definitely a little bouncy. Let's put some more on there. £1,500 with the weight towards the back of the pallet. It'll definitely pick it up, but it's a little tippy. Let's find some more. Let's do two more. There's 16. Put there. There's 1,700 pounds. £1,700. I lost the bag. That's not good. £1,700. It lifts it. It moves it. But let's put some more. We'll do 1,800 pounds. There's 1,800 pounds right there. Woo. And it's tippy. Look at that. If I get off of it, 1,800 pounds, and this thing is pretty tippy. And I'm standing on the edge of it here. So it's rocking. So I'm gonna say 1,800 pounds. And so that's pretty good. All right, that's 1,800 pounds. And it's, she's rocky. You can definitely see she's rocky back there, but it's holding. If you have more weight out on the front, 1,450 pounds is about all. But stacking the weight towards the back, I'm at 1,800 pounds right now. And I mean, it hasn't tipped over, but it's starting to rock on here. All right, let me go ahead and lower this. That was an interesting lift test. 1,870 pounds is what we ended up lifting, with some of the weight not all the way to the edge of the pallet forks. 1,470 pounds, it actually lifted it pretty easy. It's what coming back down is what got me. It was a little bouncy coming back down. It was just too much weight spread out on the tip of the forks, and it went. So that was not my plan. I was not trying to tip this machine over. I'm not looking at trying to destroy it, but at least we know 1,470 pounds is probably a little bit too much spread out evenly. But at 1,170 pounds, it handled it with no problem. It picked this thing up, moved it around, turned around. It wasn't bouncy or anything like that. So I'm going to call that the wrap. I'm not going to try to pick up these big pallets here because I already know it's not going to do it for it. So no reason to even try that. So we're going to wrap this up here, and we're going to head back out to the campground where we're going to do a speed test and see just how fast the 580T Pro is. We'll be back in a minute. We're just getting back out to the campground for being out at Schulte Seed Company, doing our lifting test. And now it's time for us to actually do a speed test on the 580T Pro. So we're going to see just how fast this thing is. I'm not going to change the attachment out. I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to leave the pallet forks on there. I'm a little tired today. We've been out in the sun all day today. So let's fire this thing up and see just how fast it actually is. Play day's over for the day, and I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting this thing to lift 1,870 pounds. Yeah, it was tippy, but it held steady. Then we ran the speed test, and it was bouncing between 4 and 5 miles per hour, and it's rated at 4.94, so it really hit the mark there. Big thanks to Schulte Seed Company for letting us use their lot and pallet of seeds. If it wasn't for them, this video wouldn't have been made. 1,870 pounds, done. What's next?